this, the 40th year was released in May of 1986, and on this 40th year, we're finally beating. Hello! Welcome, Suitcase, and welcome everyone else. We are back with more Dragon Quest X, the game, as we all know, where the hero of Destiny does get killed by the final boss, as well as their entire village, and we get reincarnated into a race of our choice. Ultimately, end up going back in time 500 years, being able to gain access to our human form, which is necessary to be able to progress to the final dungeon of the game. Collected 10 key emblems, 5 other playable characters along the way, and now we have the means to be able to access the final boss of this game, Nurgle's Tower, although if it follows the traditional Dragon Quest X or Dragon Quest plotline, they're probably not going to be the actual final boss. It's probably going to be something else. But we'll just have to wait and see. We have no life this game really, really hard. I started this game 10 days ago, and I'm already at end credits. I don't think I've ever played a game this aggressively before that I can remember. So it's going to score well. It does have its issues, but it's been it is. So, Suitcase, the way that it works is that there are 7 different parts to it. There are like seven different stories and campaigns. This is the offline version that was released in 2022, and then the other version came out, and then the expansion came out in 2023. I have the expansion. I'm going to probably slowly chip away at that. Some of those hours were me legitimately no-lifing it, and other amounts of it were just the console being left on. I cannot account for all of those hours being just me playing. Thank God. That would be a huge concern, because that's like 10 hours a day if you do the math. But oftentimes I would just have the game on while I would be doing other client calls and things of that nature, but not necessarily playing it. But I think things are going to significantly drop in terms of like how aggressively I've been playing it once we get past the actual main campaign. Thank you for the hydrate, Mackenzel. And so, I know that there's translation works on the other online versions. I just don't have any interest in that. The thing about the deconstruction of the MMO to a console is that everything that I feel like I'm doing in this game, it would be 10 to 15 times longer if I were doing it online. I think they would meticulously drag out certain elements of the game to where I'd be on it so much longer. And I am thankful that I do not have the interest or inclination to be able to play any other iteration of this game other than the offline version. Yeah. So this is a Dragon Quest game. So 10 released on the Wii originally, and then there was an expansion and version that released on the Wii U, and then the Switch, and then of course it's also on Steam. It's an MMO. So it's been out for a very, very, very long time, but a dedicated translation group has been devoted to translating most of it. Some areas are clearly human translated, and some areas are clearly not. I'll leave it at that. You can tell whenever they've used machine translations, there's inconsistent gendering, there's inconsistent usages of you should do something versus I should do something versus other sorts of things where it's like, yeah, this part. So I mean, for side quest number 297, you know, you're probably going to have a shot of your translation in the main story of the game. So, but the translation has kind of hit its furthest stride as of 2025, 2026, which makes sense because this is the 40th anniversary of Dragon Quest this year. So, yeah, I know. Cosmic Fantasy, people who watch the Cosmic Fantasy streams should know all about the fact that that is the worst iteration of machine translation you'll ever see as Cosmic Fantasy. There was no human playtesting element whatsoever. It's clear from that. Yeah, so that's hence why I hit it aggressively. It feels like it has a lot of the addictive draw of an MMO, but without me having to spend my entire life and my entire life savings in order to play it. I don't need that kind of an addictive game in my life. I'm glad that there's very, very few games that just grip me like that anymore. On the one hand, I think it's sad that I just don't fall into games as neatly as I used to, but on the other hand, I could kind of appreciate the fact that I'm not, you know, playing video games for like every waking moment of my life, like it seems to be with this one. Now, as to whether or not the game justifies or warrants that level of commitment, there are parts I'd have to say sadly no. I feel like if you go off the beaten path and go into the side areas, then you get rewarded with more challenging elements. But if you try to stick to the mainline areas, you're not really challenged as heavily. And even on the Draconian Hard challenge I enabled for the entire playthrough, it still feels a little too simple, but we'll see. The recent drama by Sega Gaga, it's totally a guard redeem type of game, but all the nerds are calling out very bad translation. Yes, so I mean, I've seen. I don't think anything is going to top Cosmic Fantasy 2's bad translation, because they mixed up, like, if they'd gotten into one battle, they would have seen all of the bad stuff that happened and was translated wrong. Because, like, enemies were attacking you was translated as you attacking enemy, and vice versa. So when you play, like, the first 10 minutes, you're like, what the hell is going on here? Why am I getting hurt? Why are they getting hurt? What's going on? And then you're like, oh, okay, it's all mixed up. That's so confusing. But, no, I have not seen the translation. I'll look into it. I've heard about Sega Gaga. In fact, I think I saw it on like CD Romance being discussed in one of the forums, although CD Romance hasn't gotten any new stuff this year, just because I think they got in trouble again. They're not allowed to host any new download links, only the old ones are staying up. Right now we have to go, I believe, to the Rangao Mountains, to the summit. Oh, Landon Mountains, that kind of sounds similar. That's where we need to go. That's where we summoned the ship last time, but we couldn't because we didn't have the ability to be able to call the ship. Now we do. But I'll look into it. But like, I feel like machine translation, sadly, for a number of games, is going to be the only way to see some of them, because some people are just not going to bother. to translate the entire thing. And I mean, Dragon Quest games are huge in terms of text commitments, so I can imagine, I can understand, like, with certain quests cutting corners, and it really does seem to be just some of the quests that the corners were really cut, and I think that's fine. We're gonna go ahead and ride our Segway all the way up to the mountain summit. This area in particular does not have any music. Okay, we never got this chest. Magic water, we cannot pick it up because we have 99 of them. And I'm sure we'll need all 99 for the final boss. You know the rule. Whoa, 65 streams. I thought Bear Kidney 70 was nuts. I mean, it still is nuts. 65 is also nuts. I didn't realize so many people had caught that many in a row. Yeah, so I imagine that the more and more of these projects we see in their infancy, Suitcase, I think we're gonna catch more of these games with incomplete line breaks, text that spills out of text boxes, things of that nature. But I'm hoping things can eventually get more cleaned up to where it's not just feeling awful when things are machine translated. Especially since it's especially bad when whenever there's like recursive translations and it translates a place name different. Like the game will say go to this location, and then on your mini map when it's translated as a completely different location, and it's not one to one, and then you're like, where am I going? Or or you have to look for a certain enemy, and the enemy is translated as something different and on a different line, and those are kind of the instances where I feel like the translation can kind of get wonky. I did have to consult a resource to fill out several different quests because I'm like, where the heck are they wanting me to go? And I'm like, oh, okay, it's just they meant this place, but it was just different than what it shows in my map and its translation. So it can fall apart there too. We've been waiting for you, guard. We're ready to call the sacred ship. Come on, come on. Please give a shout out to Fifi, our talented young ship shaper. Give a shout out to the talented young ship shaper. I've been waiting for you, guard. I'm ready to summon the sacred ship. Are you sure you want to go to Hades as hard as you are now? Yes. Yes, and they do quite often. Okay then, here we go. Is that? Long time no see, guard. That distant vow, as I promised so long ago, in return for your act of friendship, I will lend you my power. So Urju is the individual that we encountered 500 years ago. Basically, in order to access Hades' Heart, the final dungeon of this game, the power of a shipwright is needed to be able to construct the ship that's going to be able to take us, basically like ferry us from via its arc status from there to the final dungeon. The problem is that the knowledge of the shipwrights died out over the ages, and nobody in the present time knows how to do it. Hence why we had to go back 500 years for story-related purposes. He's the individual we met. He's the individual we helped out, and who, after going through and gaining several different marks of mastery, vowed to pass down the techniques down the ages, and ultimately passed it down so far to where Fifi is the individual who's now able to make the ship. So now you're caught up. That girl is the exact opposite of me, you know? She has talent, but lacks the drive. She won't even take the first step for fear of failure. It's been quite frustrating to see. Well, guard, you may once again use my clan's power to its full extent. I mean, Mackenzel, we screwed up the time stream the moment we died and came back to life. Like, to the game's credit, the person at the beginning of the village, Anza, said, everyone in this village will die, and everyone will this village will be destroyed. And it happened. They didn't subvert it. Everybody in our village died, save for our sister, who seemed to be transported in time somewhere. And I'm like, I was not expecting that to happen. Because our character had levels, we were learning skills, and then everyone died. Well, what do you think? The swan is the finest form of ship shaping. Fifi, well done! Before entering Hades' heart, may I have a word with you? It is said that the Dark Lord Nergal, who was born from Radamedes, who you once faced with my ancestor Urju. Defeating the Dark Lord is a quest set forth upon my clan over 500 years ago. Please help us complete this task at last. Okay then, guard. Say a prayer and then the ship can depart. I can't tell if we're saying one. We probably are. Please take care. I'll pray for your victory. Bet you never saw a duck do that. Or a swan. Alright, so we're at Hades' heart. Welcome, Rise. You're here to catch the end credits of part 1. Hope you're doing well. I was able to read everything. Sorry it took me so long and I was out to lunch. Yeah, that's because I feel I'm going to be able to beat the game today and then just go straight to bed. We're going to try to go to end credits. You've arrived at last, the sole survivor of that vulgar village of Athene. As anticipated, you Athenians were a dangerous seed that contaminated my plans. But to throw yourself at the threshold of Hades' heart, my own castle, is foolish even for you. No matter what strength you may possess, I'm invincible in this world, where death reigns supreme. Now make haste to my throne. I welcome your visit with delight. We're finishing, I know, 10 days. 10 days. I was scared because I remember Dragon Warrior 7 and how long that took me. Like 24 streams to do Dragon Warrior 7. And I'm like, am I going to be able to do this before my vacation? And I'm, yes, clearly I am. Hey, we meet again. Hey, Guard of Athene. I'm surprised you'd come all the way out to a place like this. So, the way that this game works is our character, when we died, we reincarnated into the body of another individual that happens to have the exact same name as us that also happened to die, and we became that individual for all intents and purposes. So this is the person whose spirit inhabited the body that we now inhabit, that is now wearing our human skin that nobody else can see because of mythical stuff. So we look like this person we're seeing now in this ethereal form to everybody else, but to you, the viewer, we appear as our Athenian form. Yep. My vacation is on March the 30th, and I'll be gone until April 20th, and then I'll be back on the 21st. 21st, yes, on April 21st, I'll be officially back. So I'll be gone a while. No streams for about 3 or so weeks. Hades' heart was created by Nergal to round out all the souls of the dead. It's said he gobbles up the souls he collects and turns them into dark magic to heal himself. He used up a lot of magic to steal Landercia, so now that bastard's been resting on his laurels here for a good while. And now that he's back on his feet, he's even more pepped up than when he sealed Landercia. I was in a big hurry because I'm thinking that all the continents might fall under his dark seal if we don't do something. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I definitely need to relax and step away for a bit. But if you made it this far, everything's peachy keen now, right? Nergal's known for his strength, and he's a dirty cheater to boot, but I believe you can beat him. Oop, looks like I need to cut this short, like back at the Temple of Light. Be seeing you, good luck. Isn't that guard? Didn't they come back from the dead? Well, that's all the discussion we're going to have about that. This warmth, no way. No, that's impossible. There shouldn't be anything but monsters living in the Hades heart. Well, good luck. I don't think building up a streak to a certain prerequisite number is necessary to be seen as cool. Oh shoot, I accidentally held the L button, which locks me into running, so I kept, despite stopping, running forward. We'll just run away. That's fine, though. Bear Kidney posted, I think, within the week. Okay, we want to go this other way. Well, it looks like we can ignore him, so I will. I'm not really motivated to fight everything and explore this final dungeon. I just want to get to where we need to go. I think we are more than adequately prepared. Oh, I can't ride the dole board? That's the most demonic thing about this place, is I can't ride my Segway. At the top of the spiral staircase, there's a rather interesting treasure chest, but with me not having a body, I can't open it. Okay, they've piqued my interest. I need to see what the treasure chest is. And then we'll go down the other way. Oh, come on. I can't get up the steps. I may just have to fight them. If it comes down to it. One more try. There we go. It's going to be easier jumping off the top layer than it is to keep doing that. Yeah, I like that. I mean, we've only interacted with the person who used to inhabit our body about one other time. And that was at the Temple of Light, like he alluded to. And so there's the treasure chest this guy teased me about. 3 dragon bone. Not worth it. Eden. Shockstorm. I just read your message and replied it as your name. I'm doing quite well. We're gonna try to beat the game tonight, and then I am going to probably rest for a while before picking it up back up again to do any of the post game stuff, because I definitely need a break from this. Looks like we'll just go up that staircase. It's going to be right over here. Hateful, hateful, hateful. That monster that murdered me is hateful. That Nurgle who trapped me is hateful. I'm dead and yet I still exist. All those guys are hateful. Duly noted. Looks like there is a teleporter. You can get into a multi-seat car. Yeah, there's a lot of things you can do online. The MMO doesn't have the chibi characters like this either. It's gonna have like the taller models. So there's quite a number of differences, but I still think this looks and works out pretty well. Now, does the teleporter just... Okay, there's actually... They gave me a gold panel, damn. Skill panel. I'm gonna use it on Dustin. I'm going to go ahead and replace this panel with the gold one. He does have an ability that deals with reactivation. Basically, it gives him, with a level 3, it gives him a free turn 15% of the time. Which is, less, about 1 out of every 7. Which I think is a pretty good deal. Now, as to who to give this silver to, I'll go ahead and put the silver one here. And we'll put the bronze here. And ready to go. Okay, couldn't do it. I tried. Okay, so this... Is it one way? I guess we're gonna find out. I don't know what this is, but it looks like it is not a one-way. Another gold panel. I've never seen this many at once. It's giving me a pause here. Okay, these are all at 5. Yeah, I can replace this with the gold one. Okay, now we're good. If I knew there were this many gold panels, maybe I should be looking a little bit more carefully around the castle. Netherlord's throne entrance. Okay, we're all healed up. Thank you for the hydrate. Yeah, it does make a whole lot of sense. I'm just glad I had an excuse to use the Switch again. With the translation and everything else, it just worked out so well. Because I wanted to do something other than just, I use it for Origami King Refolded mod, and then that's it. So being able to use it for modding and the translation has been quite nice. At last you have come. I've been waiting for you, survivor of Athene Village. How charitable of you to come here to offer up your soul to the Netherlord. This is... What's this? This kind of thing ain't necessary. I have a bad feeling about this. Ah, damn it, I'm not afraid of you. The chains of Hades are woven with the hatred of the dead. The living shall never sever them. Guard to the rescue. Yes, some of the cutscenes have the non-chibi, and then they revert back to the chibi, you will notice. I'll take up all the anger of the dead and bring him with me to the other side. So go beat up Nurgle and break the seal on Endurgia. Got it? Then, go carry on my dream. To think that a mere spirit could defy me, and even go so far as to shatter the shackles of Hades, how very peculiar indeed. Nevertheless, it is still folly to believe that you could defeat me. The Netherlord is he who commands dominion over death. And no living thing escapes from death. That was a cool thing he did with the scythe, but not very practical. in actuality, but I do appreciate it. It looked cool. Netherlord Nurgle. Okay, first of all, let's lower the combat speed to normal. We need for this to kind of last and stick with us for a while. We're going to start with scrap metal to lower his defense and speed, and hopefully it lands and works. It didn't affect his speed, but his defense went down, and that's the only thing that matters. Because now we're going to hit him 6 times with a hammer, which is pretty effective against most things. We'll see if this works to stun him. I don't know if it'll actually work on a boss. It can guarantee an item drop if it hits an enemy. Okay, it does stun. It doesn't matter if he doesn't have anything to steal. He's not going to be able to act for a turn. Meanwhile, I'm going to go ahead and buff our main character, Guard. He lost his turn, so we're going to try to go for paralysis, but it's probably not going to work. If nothing else, it deals damage. Okay, that's kind of cool. I like that he just kind of just pieces out and sits in the background and watches. I like that. I can respect it. Yeah, it's like once you do it, you can't go back. So Belial, I'm gonna assume is gonna be worse than an Archdemon, although they're both pretty bad. In Dragon Quest history, they're known to use Kaboom and Boom spells, which like hit the entire party massively. But I mean, I'm worried a whole lot for someone who hasn't taken a single attack yet. So maybe I should chill out a little bit. Nurgle's smiling widely, which implies maybe he could do something from the background. Yeah, the stunned animation's kinda silly, isn't it? We will stun the other guy. Why not? If he hasn't gone yet, maybe I don't want him to go. Look at that. It's beautiful. Nurgle just sitting on his throne going, what am I looking at? I really wish I was on the other side of where those guys are so I could see what they're looking at. Oh, he's gonna heal them for the background. Alright, well, I think this is gonna overdo it if I attack Belial with this, so we're gonna attack Archdemon. Oh, that was more than enough. Okay. Now you can't like stack Garbage Collector. Once you use it once, it doesn't tend to work again. God Juggling should probably finish him off. Yep. He's back in the fight again. Do we want to reapply Umful? I probably do. Because I don't know when it's going to fare off. First Blood. Because Sap is going to lower the party's defense. Or not. that was interesting. Usually it hits. Good critical. Defense down. No attack drop, that's okay. Gates of the Underworld. Pretty strong. He gets the attack again. Guard is in trouble. So I want to hurt him, but I don't want to hurt him too much. If I hurt him too much, I don't know if we're going to go right into another fight or another phase. And I'll be at 77 health in that new phase. I do need to... The problem is anything Guard does is probably going to kill this guy. So I may just do a normal attack. Okay. Yeah, getting some damage in, but not like doing too much damage. We'll use Dreamy Breeze. Stop hitting Guard. Okay, well the fact his anger down does help a little bit. Getting the criticals on him. Even though I'm trying to be low on the damage side. We'll have Huza... We don't need to use an Ultra Medicine. We only have 4 of them. We'll go ahead and use an Amorsecco on Guard. And then have Dustin use the Hustle Dance. And then we'll try to attack with Fura. Why are you angry with Dustin? What did he do? He didn't attack. Let's see. We have 394 MP. I don't think I have a pretty good feeling that Zamel is not going to do enough. We'll need to use Hellfire. Okay, he's using the strong move again. I'm so scared that they're just not going to heal me before the next fight that I'm trying to be a little bit, I guess, sane about this. Defense normal. Normal attack on... Oh, he's the one person who can't take it. That's fine. He's still alive. And there he goes. Now, as to whether he's the final boss, the jury's out. I don't think he is. Unthinkable, an Athenian survivor making the great Lord of Death take a knee. But I cannot fall yet. I've not yet realized my grand ambition to seal the world in darkness. Oh, great source of darkness, grant me your power. I yield my body to you as a sacrifice. And had I done like the 6-hit hammer attack, that likely would have been enough. Moment of truth to see whether or not I'm going to have full HP going to the next fight. I have a feeling I will not, though. Gaze upon my mighty form, this immense magical power. I am Beast Lord Nurgle, born of death to return all things to death. The time has come to lend you my power. Let the halo I've created be your battlefield. I shall grant death equally to all who oppose me. Well, hopefully this light heals us, because Dustin has less than 100 health, so we'll have to see. Of course not. So let's think about how we want to do this. I'm glad my RPG intuition was right. I don't know how fast he is. He does have appendages. He has a right arm and a left arm. I do too. Fun fact. But I don't know what I'm gonna do here first. Probably gonna have to just bite the bullet and use an Ultra Medicine turn 1. Just in case he outspeeds Dustin, I don't know. I don't know what turn order is gonna look like yet. Okay. We're gonna go ahead and scrap metal. Is it smarter to go for the head, or is it smarter to break an arm? I guess it's not, for right now, we're gonna aim for the boss himself until we recognize which arm is more of a threat. For all I know, one arm could heal, one arm could do damage. It might be like so far. Okay, that did not lower any stats. That's unfortunate, but we'll hustle dance to heal guard. We'll go ahead and Oomphle to get on guard's attack up. Good dodge. Okay, pretty strong normal attack. Definitely want to try to decrease attack if we can, but we're going to have to use Fura's, one of her soothing abilities that increases our defense. He just hits way too hard. Okay, so it did debuff him. Oh, well, no, it didn't quite do the debuff I wanted. It did a debuff. So we want Dreamy Breeze to also buff our defense. Now, if he has Ripple of Disruption, we could be in trouble. No, he does. Why do I talk? Full spell guard. Okay. The left arm protects against spells, so I can't target the boss with any spells anymore. But Ripple of Disruption gets rid of every single buff I have on my character. So the attack up buff I put on myself is gone. The defense up buff I put on my characters is also gone. It does use up a turn, so all we have to do is reapply it. That's not a big deal. We're still going to do plenty of damage, especially if we critical twice. Oh, he's in the orange. Wait a minute. He's actually not that scary. You know, I thought it was all that, but I've never been hit by a hammer 13 times before and live to tell that I never even thought that was a possibility. I mean, most people don't. It's a serious problem. We can try to God Juggle. See if we can get an attack debuff on any of the arms that it lands on. No. not a one. And each of those has a chance to inflict the debuff. It's just that not happening. Dreamy Breeze to buff our defense and also get the last bit of heal on Huza. 276 to Dustin. Oh! Oh! Way to go. We take those. I feel like more bosses needed immunity to debuffs like this boss does. Because you can basically, as you saw from all the other fights, like the bosses got stunned, they couldn't move, and you just kind of win. And I like it when you can't just do that. It is funny to do that to bosses, don't get me wrong, but you know, you want bosses to be something you remember other than like, oh, I got them in a lock and they couldn't even play the game. Ooh, okay, that's kind of a scary attack. Don't let him critical. Well, there goes Nurgle. Sorry Furua didn't live to tell the tale. Raguis leveled up. And he just learned Bound. And Miley's leveled up. 2 levels. Yeah, I mean, a critical hit in the 400s is nothing to sneeze at. That's pretty scary stuff. Are you satisfied now that you've defeated me and avenged your little village, survivor of Athene? But know this, defeating me does not cut off the source of darkness that gave birth to me. In time, more calamity shall be born by the source of darkness and bring ruin to this world. I like how he, like, screams, and then he, like, monologues, and then he screams, then it goes back to monologuing, and then screams. I think it's very silly. Look at our epic escape. Love my stupid hammers. The dumb face. I like how the cutscene was clearly the longer-legged character, and then it cut immediately to the smaller Chippy. Because it cut to like the longer legs and the shorter legs. I liked it. You finally beat that bastard Nurgle, eh? On behalf of everyone in the whole world, let me offer... And there's the tax that fell off. He's gonna offer us something, Guard of Athene. Actually, there's a story I've been meaning to tell you. I was an orphan growing up, and I had an older brother. Ever since we were little, we loved digging in the ground. We traveled all over, digging in one place and then the other. Bro always said he wanted to dig up a legendary treasure someday. I felt the same. To make that a reality, we decided to split up and began training separately to develop our skills. My bro went to Landergia and ended up down in Nagrani to help out the mine. It was right around then I was killed by a fallen rock and your spirit took over my body. There's no way I could ever face my bro without finishing what we set out to do. Hey, Guard of Athene, would you mind meeting my brother and helping him find that legendary treasure for me? Nah, I shouldn't be doing none of that. I'm just guilt-tripping you at this point. Forget I said anything. Well, whatever the case, it was still refreshing to be able to talk about my regrets like that. Now I can give you a proper goodbye. Yeah, this is really the last time you'll be seeing me. Well, at least you'll have my good looks to remember me by for a long time to come. See ya, Guard of Athene. Remember me once in a while, you hear? I like how we're getting an inn tutorial about, like, this is how an inn works. This is how a concierge at an inn works. Thank you. I could have been healing this whole time. Who knew? Change party members. Technically, this is not wasted because we can do this in the post-game. You okay, Guard and the others? Who would you want swapped in the post-game, Kenzel, next time I load this? Anyways, it's dangerous here. Quick, we gotta get out of here. It's gonna be a little rough. Hold on tight. Okay. I see what you mean. Okay, that's also a possibility. I'll swap back to the dwarf model next chance I get. Who knows, maybe in the post-game you can meet this guy's brother. I was watching from outside when Hades' heart started trembling all strange-like. That's when Fifi showed up just in time. Oh man, the Switch is struggling hard with this scene. Oh, it's the old man. And that's Dragon Quest. That's Dragon Quest X. So yeah, this is one of the games that had been on my back burner for a long, long time. But once Alex played it, I thought it would be a cool idea to try to play it around the same time because he has a vacation right around the same time as I did. And the idea of being able to kind of go through a game that had a translation and it would be kind of difficult to search information on online about and just kind of sharing new tips and things we found out kind of enticed me. And so I think it worked out in the long run. We both ended up finishing the game today. And so he finished probably about 4 hours ago, and I finished, I guess, today. And I will say for the game that I've played last in the mainline series, 7 being the one that was the right before I played this one. 7 had been the one I had kind of skipped for a number of years and then came back to. This was a really, really strong showing of a game. It does, of course, have the inherent shortcomings of an MMO. That is kind of deconstructed. One of which is that linearity is not really something that is very strongly encouraged in this. You have a lot of flexibility and freedom to go where you need to go. But a lot of the downside of that flexibility is that a lot of the challenge lies not within staying in your lane. It's venturing outside of the lane and fighting a bunch of the enemies that and doing the quests and harder things that are outside of your comfort level. If you stay within your comfort level, you're not going to get challenged. And by consequence, once you do that and try to go back into the lane, you won't be challenged even more. All of the main bosses are a cakewalk. I do think I was immensely satisfied with the final boss, nonetheless. Though I did like his aura, him sitting on the throne, his move set, and then the final boss. I do think anything with appendages um, is scary. It automatically puts me on high alert. I joke and meme about the Kraken all the time, but like you can't write those appendages off. They can literally do anything. They can hit you, they can heal, they can debuff, they can buff, they can do any number of things under the sun, and you just have to kind of sit there and just be deferential to whatever they're doing. I think this is a very much kind of an open sandbox game, which is not something I've played very often. I know I played Breath of the Wild. I guess that's the only other big one I really played, but I hated Tears of the Kingdom. I just could not get into building any of the machines or any of the things of that particular nature. My mind isn't really built that way. So a lot of the experience. So every time I played it a little bit differently. Like day one was story, day two was focusing on class, day three was focusing on the casino and farming different items out of the casino reward system. Day four was like fishing and doing other things like that, etc. It never felt completely stale or like I wasn't getting anywhere with it. I feel like if I was playing an MMO, by contrast, if this was like online instead, it would probably take me like a week to finish the classes or a week to finish one particular thing. And so I think I never really fell into a rut where I was just like, I don't feel like enough is happening. I don't feel like I'm going anywhere or I'm building towards anything. I think this is a wonderful game. I'm really, really happy with it. I just, again, I think the biggest thing is that I don't necessarily know if the difficulty of it warrants all of the effort you put in. From what I hear, the Wave 2 DLC that we are getting ready to do may turn that on its head. I'm absolutely hoping it does, but I feel like I was way too overly prepared for what the final boss was. Even though all I was trying to do was just focus on getting some of the classes developed, there's no way to really turn EXP gain off unless you just completely nuke it across the board, like make it so that the weaker enemies can't give you any EXP. You can't like prevent your party from getting any EXP. It's like EXP share is on at all times, and so they're always going to get experience points. Okay, I didn't know if something else was going to happen other than the scenes they were displaying. No, it's just that they're changing the music. So there's the Galapagod from Athene Village. So speaking of, I guess Athene Village is still going to be wiped out, and that area is still going to be inaccessible. As far as I know, it never was restored. We never figured out what the heck happened to our sister. That was kind of like a big plot point, right? She was the girl who leapt through time, and we were the hero of destiny that was killed by the final boss. Like, all of these references all at once. And, yeah, she was kind of vaguely referenced, but, like, never really resurfaced in any meaningful way whenever we finished the journey. I did like our cast of playable characters. I did like the diversity with their skill sets. Dustin's awesome. He's a junk collector that only treasures things that are garbage, and things that are important in his life he tends to neglect. That's why we kind of immediately first... there was like a whole lot of family drama we had to solve, but I like the fact that whenever he was... his combat ability is to goof off at the end of his normal turn. He has the ability to get additional turns. He could like set bombs. He could put enemies to sleep. He can do dances to do other stuff. He can buff himself. He can debuff himself. But it doesn't take his turn. So he can have like 2 normal turns and then like this weird turn in between. But he's just like such a versatile character, especially if he gets himself an extra turn. Especially since he has the ability to debuff defense as well as debuff attack with his God Ball attack. Fura is really a mage, and that's it. She's kind of where I felt like the battle ramifications of using her kind of fell off. She never really was anything other than just somebody who used magic and would just heal and or buff. She didn't really hold any other unique role. Huza, excuse me, by contrast, did. He was able to not only debuff characters, enemies, but also attack multiple enemies in a row, do attack debuffing moves. He was just a very strong soldier overall, and I enjoyed using him. The other 2 characters I got today. I don't know. I don't know what they do. I'm assuming that the girl we got is basically like our Dragon Quest XI Jade. She's going to be the martial artist, based off of what limited I saw for Tree. So she's probably going to be able to do a whole lot of damage unarmed and mainly focusing on getting critical hits. And we all love critical hits, especially in Dragon Quest. So I'm sure that that's going to be kind of an interesting build. But overall, I think the music in this game is phenomenal. I'm not really surprised by that fact. The main boss theme of the game, I think it gets stuck in my head like crazy. Like throughout the week, I just kept thinking of With All One's Might, which is the name of the boss theme, especially that part like a minute in. It's just like it's so addictive before it does the loop. And I guess Clashing Edges was the battle theme. The start of it gets stuck in my head because you're used to hearing it so much. But a lot of the town themes, like the Winna Islands continent, sounded good. A lot of the towns sounded good. And I think it's a pretty bright and colorful world. And I think other than like some of the cutscenes that it struggles with, it functions fine on the Switch. So yeah, I'm gonna give it an 88 final score. Initially, I felt like it was going to be a 90 until I realized that the difficulty really didn't justify. I felt like a lot of the balance kind of waned off towards the end, and then because I gave Dragon Quest VIII an 89, and it looked like this game was going to beat it by a point, but it ended up losing by a point. That's just the way it goes sometimes. Still a great game. We'll return to the summit to keep an eye on Hades' heart. You be careful out there, you hear? But it's definitely a game of the year so far. I mean, I would sure hope so, with as much as I was no-lifing it. Within the last 10 days, I would hope I would at least like it. Ah, there you are, guard. I've been looking all over for you. I can tell by the look on your face. Seems you finally defeated Netherlord Nergal. You've done well indeed. Now the people of Athene will finally be able to rest in peace. I don't know why Fura is dancing in the background. It's kind of weird. But this is not the end of your journey. Netherlord Nergal may have been destroyed, but his dark seal still envelops Lendercia, and it shows no signs of breaking. But I'm sure that the way to that land will be restored sooner or later, so continue honing your skills to prepare for that day. In Lendercia, there's a kingdom known as Grand Zadora. The princess of that kingdom is the awakened hero. Please go and help her. Well, I'm going to be busy as a bee from now on, so I guess I'll be on my way. So for now, I need to say goodbye for a short while. We'll meet again in Lendercia, when the tracks of destiny cross. Let's go to Lendercia! It appears that the route of the Grand Tidus from the port town of Lendor to the continent of Lendercia has been reopened following the defeat of Netherlord Nergal. However, to board the Grand Tidus, you'll need to obtain a special quest from the traveling concierge in town. Visit the travel concierge in any town to receive the special quest. To unlock this quest, you must first complete the task concierge to accompany you on your journey, enabling you to utilize the concierge's service during your travels. If you haven't completed it yet, prioritize clearing this quest. Furthermore, with the route now restored, new offerings will be introduced at various exchanges as you progress through your adventure. If you're curious, consider exploring them. Now let's journey to the continent of Lendercia, where the hero princess awaits. Well, she can await a couple more days, I think. I think we've earned a rest. So we are, first of all, we are on the Landen Mountains. Yeah, I know that it's the quest that we've probably just been added. Let's go to Glencastle Town to get the save. And before we forget, we need to change our character model. Per the Redeem. Oh yeah, Fura probably wasn't dancing. She was probably in like that Mortal Kombat swaying animation. Where they're like, finish him! And, but it's not... But thankfully she's fine. We'll go ahead and heal her at the end. At some other point. But first, before we save our data for the night, where is... Okay, what was the option to be able to change? Is it on the field? I know I saw it in one spot. I don't see where the tutorial was. I know I saw it somewhere. Let me try going to the overworld first. No, I'm lying. I was making a joke. I don't think that has anything to do with it at all. I think she's just doing that in general for some strange reason that I don't know. Maybe it's the... Wait, you know what I think it is? I think it's the priest. It might be the priest. Let me take a quick look. Spell of Restoration. Once you vanquish the story's boss monster, when it's the ending, you'll gain the ability to learn the Spell of Restoration at the church. By incorporating the spell of restoration to your Dragon Quest experiences, there's the change race option. I was right. You can unlock new game and features. Curious to explore the alternate realm of Dragon Quest X. Don't know what. Okay, first of all, change race. We'll go ahead and go back to Dwarf. Remove the weapons and armor you can't equip because of your race change? Wait a minute, what? Wait, what can I equip? Okay, so everything I had on is still on. They made it sound really scary. Like there's like, I guess, human exclusive equipment. Since when? Okay, let's save. But let's take a. But as the last thing, yeah, I'm not sure. The thing is, I was so committed to making sure I did not do anything to change my mind about playing online that I named my character in English. Because English is not compatible with any online play. You have to use the Japanese characters in order to play online. The game specifically warns you. If you use the English character, you can't play online. So I'm like, let's do it. Let's commit to not being able to do it. So Spell of Restoration listens to the Temple of Futility. Which goddess boy. Okay. You're 100. Oh, you're right. You are right. Okay, well, I can't do that. Yeah, must have a Japanese character name to transfer to Dragon Quest X Online. Once again, you will not be able to transfer your game to Dragon Quest X Online if you use an English name on your file. Okay, they really make you feel it. Twice. Yeah, so it's not gonna work. Yeah, so, any event, we're gonna be taking a break from this for a couple of days. I will be back quite a bit later with it. So we'll be back on, let's see, today is, let's see. Yeah, since I don't have a redeem game right now, Hikaru has indicated that Witchspring R needs to be that they'd rather have it delayed until April, which I think is reasonable, given that I'm going to be on vacation the end of the month. They'd rather not have that break in the middle, which I get. So I'll be back on Thursday with this. I think is the way that it's going to work, because I just want to see what the post game has to offer, especially the DLC here. Hopefully we'll get an answer as to what happened to our sister. I'm assuming that's the big question that's going to be answered with this, as well as being able to access Thundersia. But thanks everybody for stopping by. Glad I was able to beat the game in 10 days. That's pretty nuts. But now to not hit the game quite as aggressively, I think we can relax quite a bit. We did a lot of the class grinding in the initial game, so there's no real reason to hit it this hard at this point. We've done everything we really need to do, I think, to be able to play the game effectively. Yep, hopefully they're out there somewhere. But thanks everybody. Have a wonderful night.